does that even mean, Bowers getting the quarterback?
Ahoy there, YouTube! I'm back again at 8 for another game review. Today I'm very excited to check out 20-second Showdown from Big Potato Games. This is for 5 to 20 players, ages 10 plus. It'll take you, I don't know, about 10 to 15 minutes to play. And in 20-second Showdown, this is a fast-paced party game in which you're going to have to do someone on your team is going to have to do a challenge as fast as they can, and once they do it, boom, you're going to flip the sand timer, or a ref will be flipping the sand timer, then the other team is going to have to do it, and then you're going to flip the sand timer, the other team's going to have to do it, and the team that is not able to complete the challenge before the sand timer runs out is going to award a point to the other team, and all you have to do is get 3 points in order to win the game. It's a very light, simple, party/family style game, but is it good? Let's open it up, and I'll tell you what I think. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what you're going to get inside of 20-second Showdown. So first and foremost, we have a handy-dandy rule sheet. One page, double-sided, full color, only 8 real directions. Very well done, should have you up and running in no time at all. Also, how to play video, always delightful when companies do that. But no real questions with the rule booklet. Very well done. So in 20-second Showdown, what's going to happen is this is a game in which 2 teams, blue and yellow, are going to be racing against this sand timer to complete a challenge. Once they've completed the challenge, a independent third party, a ref, a moderator, a judge, whatever you want to call it, is going to flip this sand timer and then read another question to another team. What am I talking about? Let's show you how it works, and you'll quickly get an understanding of the game. So first, component-wise, you're going to have these 2 rods. When you are doing the challenge, you will have the rod in front of you, and once you complete a challenge, you will pass it to the next person on your team. Next, you're going to have a help card, which will be in front of your team. And normally, everyone on your team is not allowed to help you. However, you can flip this once per round, and bada boom, everyone on your team can help you, but the card stays face down until the next round starts. And rounds in this game are pretty quick. And in fact, you have to win 3 rounds in order to win the game. Last but not least, we have the cards and the sand timer. The cards are double-sided, white and black, and the ref, the moderator, whatever, is going to pick which side they want to read. And then we have the sand timer, which is a really interesting sand timer because it makes noise as it does it. And you're going to start off the game by putting it, start off every round, I should say, by putting it kind of even though it's kind of hard to see what even is. So let's just start up the game, and you'll get a quick idea of how the game works. So let's just pretend that blue is going to go first. So, bam, pretend to give someone a haircut while saying, going anywhere nice for your vacation. So that person would now do it, and they'd say, done, and then they pass the baton, and I flip it over and say, say your full name, including middle ones, inserting the words hippity-hoppity between each word. So, Forrest, hippity-hoppy, Anthony, hippity-hop, Bauer, hippity-hop, and then boom, move on to yellow. So pretend to throw a hot potato to a teammate. They must pass it up and down the line and back to you. Or do the wave with the rest of your team 3 times around. So, boom. Play an intense air guitar solo for 3 seconds. So you get it. There's lots of different stuff, and I'll read more of these cards so you really get a feel for what the cards do, but there's a good deal of these cards as well. And they're double-sided, obviously. So, what is the middle letter in Mississippi? Recite verse 1 of Yankee Doodle whilst holding your nose. Jump over something. Get your team to stand up. You must crawl through their legs. Sit on a teammate's knee and tell them 3 things you want for Christmas. Pick something up with your teeth. Hang something off each ear. Everyone on your team must show their naked knees. Now pick the player with the knobbiest. Sometimes there'll be math questions like 26 plus 73. Count to 10 in a caveman language. Shout out a country beginning with A. Each teammate must shout out a different one. Name 3 famous people with beards. Yodel for 3 seconds. Gaze into one of your opponent's eyes for 3 seconds and tell them you love them. Shout out 5 types of pasta. And that's the typical kind of thing. So, once a round is over, so in this particular example, yellow would have lost the round, so blue would just get a point. There's nothing to keep track of points. You just know that you have 1 point. You'll put it back to even, and then you will rinse, wash, and repeat until someone has won 3 rounds, and they will be the winner of 20-second Showdown. And that, in a nutshell, is how the game is played. Alrighty then, 20-second Showdown from Big Potato Games. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros. Let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, game's not going to be for everybody for a variety of different reasons. This is a family/party game with no strategy whatsoever. I mean, yeah, there's some strategy on how you could tackle some cards from here and there and when to use your help card, but for the most part, this is a 0 strategy game. It's all just about doing silly things, doing them fast, having fun, and laughing. which are great things, but not everybody's cup of tea. Also, biggest component issue I have with this game is sometimes the sand timer will not work the way you want it to, and you'll notice, especially if you're the ref, because I was the ref quite a few times when I was in my classroom. You're going to be like, oh, wow, this side's not going nearly as fast as the other side, which in a game like this is a big freaking deal. So what I kind of did was I would shake it a little bit, and that would kind of help alleviate the problem. But still, that is a little bit annoying. And I know some sand timers do that. This sand timer does, unfortunately, do that. Another big con that I have with this game is that it requires a ref, a moderator, whatever you want to call it, someone who is not actively engaged in the game, which is a little bit of a bummer. And I'm sure there's some workarounds to this, actually, where you could be like, all right, if you just have the rod, then now you're the person who reads the question, or some tricky way you can get around it. But that being said, I actually had a lot of fun watching other people do it, being the moderator. So being the moderator is entertaining enough that I still enjoyed it, which is also how I feel about Werewolf some of the time, if you have a good group of people playing Werewolf. But you do need to know that you do need to have someone running the game, which is why it says 5 to 20 instead of 4 to 20, because you need that. You can have 2 versus 2, and then the one person running the game. Any other cons I have of the game? Oh, here's a minor nitpick, which I actually think, now that I'm going to mention it, they'd be like, dang it, we totally should have done that, is I wish that, it says ages 10 plus. You can ignore that. You can easily play this with 7, 8, 9-year-olds. I did in my class. They had a blast with it. But what I had to do is I'd have to go through the questions, and I'd be like, all right, let's see. Can kids do this? No, nope. Yes, 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 no, yes, no, yes. So what I did was I had like this big stack of cards. I was like, all right, these are the cards that the kids are going to do. These are the cards that the kids can't do. And I wish they would have color-coded that in some way, or maybe made it like the black side is specifically things that everyone can do, regardless if they have a phone or regardless if they're not an adult. Because let's be honest, like, how is a kid supposed to know the capital of this, or, 5 states or countries that start with something like that? And I wish they would have color-coded it to be slightly more family-friendly, because I know they were primarily going with this as a party game, because Big Potato does a lot of party games. But I think this one is a spectacular family game as well, and a good family get-together game. So I thought that was a little bit of a missed opportunity, and I hope in future versions they do that. I said do. Continuing on with the pros, 20-Second Showdowns is a great party game. Not a good party game. It is a great party game, and everybody I played it with, except for one person, had a blast. And that one person was just having a bad day. But it's quick. It's easy to learn. It's easy to teach. It's legitimately funny. And it just gives you these absolutely preposterous moments. And the great thing about the game is that if you want to win the game, which everybody wants to win the game, it's like, normally you'd be like, I'm going to look silly if I do that. With this game, it's like, just do it! Just do it! Don't think about it! Get it done! And it just leads to some hilarious moments. So 20-Second Showdowns, I like how many cards there are. I like the fact the cards are double-sided. I do like the sand timer. I like the fact it makes noise. I like the rods. And I thought the rods were going to be dumb. But actually, in the heat of battle, where it's just, it's like, oh, do this. Then flip the sand timer. Flip the sand timer. It's like, whose turn is it? Whose turn is it? The rod actually comes in really stinking useful. I like the packaging, but that being said, a lot of people are going to think it's a con because the packaging is weird. But granted, if you set it like this, you're not even going to notice. Or like this, you're not even going to notice. I really don't have too much to tell you about the game. It's a very light, simple game in which you're going to be doing things as fast as you can and hopefully doing them faster than your opponents. And that's the entirety of the game. And if that does not sound like a game that's going to be for you, then this one's probably not going to be for you. However, if that does sound like, hey, that could be fun with my youth group or with my family during get-togethers or at this party that I go to or something like that, then absolutely, 20-Second Showdown is one I can recommend. It's one I am keeping in my collection because it's just plain fun, and it's a whole heck of a lot of it. So, 20-Second Showdown Big Potato Game is one I absolutely can recommend if you're in the market for a party game that can accommodate a very large group of people. If you enjoyed this review, please try to click on that subscribe button down below. If you want to support the channel, click on that little Amazon link down in the show notes. Buy anything on Amazon. It throws a couple pennies my way. It really does help support the channel. And in the comments below, let me know, what is your favorite game that can accommodate up to 20 people? For me personally, this is a no-brainer. It's a very easy question for me. It is Werewolf. I love Werewolf. It's one of my favorite games of all time. And sometimes I think it is my favorite game of all time because it just creates such a environment. And I've played I played werewolf with some hardcore people. There's these guys named Guys, Games, and Beer. They do a podcast out of Wisconsin. I go down every year to Wisconsin, and I play werewolf with them at this big gaming convention, this big, actually, video gaming convention, a pinball convention. But they do it up. Like, they got music going, and they got the smoke machine going, and all the lights are dark, and it really, Like, yeah, I want to play werewolf right now. But let me know in the comments below. What is your favorite game that can accommodate 20 people? As always, thanks for your time, YouTube.